What's up, guys? Welcome to Recovery Rockstars. I don't even know what to call it. It's not a top three. It's May, Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm here with my boy Tim Lambesis. Tim, what's up, man?
Not much. Thanks for having me over.
What's up? All right. Hey, we just wanted to talk about mental health. Shit's been crazy. We've had COVID. Fucking life is turned upside down, and we just want to have an honest conversation about mental health. So, how have you been, man? How have things been since COVID hit?
Not great for the whole time, but it's been great in the last, let's just say, month, right? Things are really turning around, so.
Yeah. So, you're the front man of As I Lay Dying. When's the last time you guys went on tour?
We were actually, oddly enough, in Hong Kong on an Asian tour when the announcement of COVID happened. And the airport shut down a few days later, so we got home just in time.
So, is it hard? I mean, it's got to be, that's your life. You're out there, you're touring, you're visiting other countries. I mean, that's badass. How has that affected your mental health, not being able to tour?
Like I said, the first part of COVID was really, really tough. It was like the adjustment period, and now this is kind of like my new norm now, so I'm actually used to it. I might have a hard time adjusting back to being on tour after this, but it's like more than half of my income, right? You know, so there's a little bit of that financial stress, but then also just like really finding meaningful things to do with my day, so that I'm like, you know, I write a lot of songs, but then I have a bottleneck of like hundreds of songs I've written, but it's not time to release a song because you usually release a record around a new tour or something, you know?
Yeah. I guess this opportunity is giving you a ton of time to write and reflect about life and everything in general, right?
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of material. I just want to have a meaningful way to release it, and for me, like the live music experience is like why I create the music to begin with, so that we can go out and have that live energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I wanted to talk about this because you and I were just talking offline. You know, several years ago, you were in prison, and coming out of it, a lot of people who watch these videos, you know, they're in recovery or struggling with addiction. When you came out, you were a case manager.
Yeah, so while I was incarcerated, I did 11 college courses to become a certified addiction treatment counselor.
Okay.
So it was a good environment to like learn about, because I was living in the midst of a bunch of guys struggling with addiction. And then when I got out, I knew it was going to be a little bit of time until I got back into music, and for me, becoming a case manager was like a meaningful way to spend my time until the rest of everything worked out.
Yeah, tell me what does that look like? What is being a case manager? How does that unfold?
So in my particular situation, I was actually a case manager and then a group facilitator. So I still did, because I was certified as a counselor, like I still did some of the counseling, but it was usually in like a group setting. And then the same people from those groups, I would work with them one-on-one to help them find jobs after they finished their addiction treatment, or some of them needed like housing temporarily, or just even really simple stuff like just like how to, you know, kind of like get even food stamps or like whatever, you know. So some of it was like really, really practical, and some of it was like on the counseling level of like talking about just opening up about trauma and really heavy stuff. Of course, when it got into the really heavy side of things, I always worked with like, you know, master's or PhD level, you know, therapists. So I felt like where I'm at is I'm able to help, but I also understand my limitations.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. I mean, so somebody who is coming out of prison or just trying to get the job, do you follow up them? So obviously day one, you try to help them get a job, and then what does that follow-up process look like? And I'm sure once you are able to have somebody get back to life and get their life back on track and get them into a position, I mean, it's got to feel so rewarding, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, so it's like, let's just say really intimate people I know, not as a case manager, but just like in my life, like helping get out of prison. There's like 5 or 6 guys I've really helped, and there's always that ratio of like 1 or 2 of them, it's not going to work out so well, right? And so that's heartbreaking, but then the other 4, as an example, are really, really thriving, and it feels good, because I feel like, you know, I've helped somebody I love, and then I have like I mean, I could call them, it could be like the worst moment of my life, and like any of those guys, like within, you know, a moment, like, hey, I'll be there, you know, come visit you in the hospital, like whatever it is. And so those are like really deep, meaningful connections for me. And yeah, I mean, most of those dudes, like they want to have stable living and then a good job, not just like a job, because if you get somebody a minimum wage job, right, they're gonna survive for a few months, and eventually it's like a dead end, right? So you know, getting like meaningful employment is probably one of the hardest parts.
Yeah, and I want to point this out. Thank you for sharing that. You know, we were talking again before we started this video, and you're personally not in recovery, just like myself, but you've been affected.
Affected is probably a
understatement.
Yeah.
So talk, if you don't mind sharing about that process.
I mean, people close to me that have gone through difficult things, like obviously it's their story to tell, and some of these people are like very comfortable talking about it, so that's why I'm comfortable sharing those things. But you know, I've seen friends of mine overdose or you know, just really like get to that true rock bottom, you know, where they're like sleeping on the floor with like a crazy apartment with like no carpet, you know what I mean, like just like really really rough spots. And seeing that like all around me from close friends, like it breaks my heart, but it also makes me realize like there's something going on there that's you know, biologically different than what I'm experiencing. So like the fact that I'm not in traditional recovery isn't me thinking like I'm better in any kinds of ways. It's that the more I'm able to talk about the difficulties of my life, I feel like not only does it help other people, but it actually affects me less, because it's like I'm letting a little bit of it go every time.
Yeah. I think I've told my community several times after losing my loved ones. I mean, creating this platform and be able to connect with like you and everybody else in the community, it's just such a form of therapy.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to connect and give back and have meaningful conversations. I mean, fuck, if I didn't have this platform, you and I would have never connected, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So let's get back to mental health. I want to know what you're doing. What do you do to take care of your mental health?
For me, you know, I have to be
Exercise.
a little bit rigid. Oh yeah, exercise.
Go ahead, get one of these. Go.
I have to be a little bit rigid, which is funny why I exercise every day. Is that it's not for my physical health, although it has like a physical component. But I have anxiety if I'm not like finding a physical outlet for myself, and then that naturally gives me a mental imbalance, and so I try to stay pretty disciplined and not to be so rigid that I have to like live within a tight little box. But but there's really like a lot of power for people that have anxiety into like really knowing what their day is going to look like, and I think forcing yourself to like stick to discipline.
Okay, so I struggle with anxiety. What does your anxiety look like? Because I can tell you mine. It's fucking crazy. From the second I get up, I'm like high strung, on edge. I think things are gonna go wrong. The glass is half empty, even though I'm like, people look at me like, dude, you're the most positive guy ever. Like, inside, I'm a shit show. Like a fucking shit show. Yeah,
so, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to like describe something like that, because it's a feeling. To put it into words is hard. But for me, there's like this like crazy hamster that just had way too much like Red Bull or whatever, you know, just running around on this wheel in my head, and he doesn't ever chill, and he doesn't take naps, you know what I mean? So until I sleep, that hamster's running full speed.
My hamsters too. I mean, they're racing each other right now, man.
Yeah.
Like literally the second I get up, it's thought after thought after thought. It just never stops.
But there's the empowering side of it, is that like you have a very active mind, right? So you have a capability of doing things like this, and just having visions of ideas that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
If you can sort of put that strength towards, you know, a good purpose, which you've done. So like, I think for people that have that kind of anxiety, or the kind that we're trying to describe, seeing it as like just a weakness is really debilitating, but seeing the strong side of it is really important as well.
That too, and I think in addition, talking about it. I mean, just talking to you and knowing that you have that hamster wheel going nonstop, it makes me feel a little bit better, because I feel like sometimes I'm isolated. I'm the only one. I sit in the house all day, and it's like, I feel like this. I know you can't explain it. Here's how it feels, guys. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I mean, whatever people are facing, trying to put it into words is really hard. It's like an emotional experience that you put into these tangible words. It's impossible.
Now we got the wind kicking up on crows. You guys, sorry about the crows. All right, brother. So tell me, what are you up to now?
So it's cool. We were talking about people finding jobs after incarceration, because I'm working with a nonprofit that's already existed for a while, and they help people with disabilities find meaningful employment.
Nice.
And so I'm able to do a division of that called reintegration, which is for guys that were recently incarcerated or recently out of addiction treatment. And it's literally launching like right now.
What's the nonprofit called?
Reintegration through Vantage Point. Vantage Point's been around for a while, yeah. So I didn't want to start my own nonprofit. I wanted to start with people that are already doing good work, and then just partner with them.
Nice, man. You guys follow Tim Lambesis. Give a shout out Instagram. Follow him on Tim Lambesis.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that it is.
All right, man. Hey, thank you for being a
you.
part. Thank you for raising awareness for mental health. Thanks for doing what you're doing with your case management and your nonprofit. Dope.
Right on. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.